Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
It's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back from the weekend. Welcome to First Contact Radio. Today's the 16th of June, June 16th, 2014. Today we have a moon sign in Aquarius and a sun sign in Gemini. Gemini will be making that transition later this week. Aquarius is here for today, but gone tomorrow, as the moon sign switches every couple of days. So Aquarius, we know that Aquarius is a air sign. Don't let the squiggles that look like water fool you. It's an air sign dealing with communication, words and action. Look at the card that represents the Aquarius and the Tarot. It's the card of the star. The name Zodi is the Hebrew letter, means fish hook. You hook put on the hook bait. You throw the hook, the line down into the water, which is the subconscious. The subconscious then, because it's been given the proper question, brings up the proper answer for the question. And so that's how it works. So Aquarius teaches us that in order to be able to move into that futuristic position, that ideal that we have in mind, we need to go inside. We need to turn our attention from outside to inside, because there we're going to find all the answers that we need. Okay, so we have this moon in Aquarius. The subconscious mind is encouraging us, look inside, go inside. The future is inside. Then we have a trine, which is taking place between Mars. This is this symbol for Mars and Aquarius. So a trine, nice, good, positive energy, good opportunities that are there between Aquarius and Mars, between what we're thinking about, that future self, that future ideal, what we're thinking about, and the energy, the Mars energy around that. Good force of energy behind what it is we want to do. So that's good. Good stuff. Okay, then we have a sextile a little bit this afternoon between Aquarius, sextile, Uranus. Unexpected changes. Okay, unexpected changes coming along in the ideas of Aquarius. Just keep your mind open. These ideas might come about because as there's a surge of energy, that surge of energy causes us to look at things in another way, get new perspectives, and in a new perspective there's change that comes. Sometimes it's unexpected because we're not always aware of what comes from the changes that Mars brings. Great intensity of energy brings great change. Then we have later this afternoon a square between Saturn, which is discipline, and Aquarius. So later on this afternoon, after we go through changes that are going on, we need to adapt to those changes and the discipline and the way we're working with our energies around us. And that's where Saturn comes into play. Okay, I have for us here just to go over a review of this. This is just where everything is right now. Sun's in Gemini until the 22nd. Moon is currently in Aquarius till the 17th, till tomorrow. Mercury is retrograde, and it's in Cancer till June 28th. It's retrograde to the end of this month. Venus is in Taurus till the 24th of this month. Mars is in Libra till the 27th. Jupiter's in Cancer till the 17th. July 17th. Saturn's in Scorpio until December 24th. And then these three last much longer. Uranus is in Aries to March 6, 2019. Neptune's in Pisces until the 2025, April 30th, and Pluto until the 2023. All right, you can use this. This information comes directly off of the Ephemeris, and you could go ahead and look at all the houses again. I'm going to keep this chart up because this is a good, helpful chart there, and you can just kind of look and see where things are here in the chart. So you see, okay, Pluto's in Capricorn. Well, the house of Capricorn is right here up at the top. So we know that Pluto is in the house of Capricorn. Pluto's deep transformation. Okay, so if that deep transformation is taking place in the house of Capricorn, Capricorn is our career or our structure. That's what it tells us. So Pluto is in there. So change, transformation within our career, within the structures of our lives. All right, then you look at the other ones, Neptune. Neptune in Pisces. Okay, Neptune in Pisces is all about, Neptune is new perspective on things, right? And here, Pisces, our dreams are subconscious, so it says we're getting a new perspective on the way we look at things. And this is all until 2025, so we got 10 years of this, which is a good thing. You know, once we go through a change, we want to look at things in a new perspective to see that positive change fully manifest itself. Uranus, unexpected changes. It's in Aries, the pioneer, our soul's purpose, leadership. So, next couple years, a lot of change going on. Positive change. Taking back our power. Okay, Saturn, which is discipline, is in the house of Scorpio right here, life and death. So there's a lot of discipline, recycling of energy, the way we look at Scorpion ideas, the way we look at life, the way we look at death, the way we look at the deep watery elements that are there. Pluto and Scorpio are connected, so the ideas, you know, that you have with the deep transformation are there with the Scorpio as well. Right? You go to Jupiter's expansion. Cancer is all about emotions, the home. So here's an expansion in Cancer, expansion with the home life, with the family life. This is going on through this month. Things are expanding in your home. Okay? And we have Mars right up here. Mars in Libra. Libra's right here. Contracts, partnerships, karma. So we have Mars energy really stimulating that. And Venus, imagination in Taurus, right where it should be. That's its home, in our beauty and our wealth. So there should be nice, good, comfortable vibes around us, you know, with this energy here. Mercury's in Cancer. Mercury's communication, Cancer's emotions, the home, the family. Mercury's, you can also see that Jupiter's in there as well, right? So we have Jupiter in Cancer, and we have Mercury in Cancer. Mercury's the communication, Jupiter's the expansion. Both of these are in the same house. One is going retrograde, telling us to look back at the past Cancerian issues that came into our lives. Consider that. Okay, and then of course we know about the moon, the subconscious. Alright, so that's a little brief of what you could do, how you could look at this. And again, these subjects, these sciences are all interpretive by the person who's doing the looking at it. The ideas of this is to help us evolve, help us individually. So don't worry about, you know, needing to have read lots of books and stuff on the subject. This is all embedded within our subconscious, all this information. It's using archetypal symbols, ideas, things that are very, very old. So when we just look at these symbols, contemplate them, meditate on them, we begin to understand. And just by understanding the basic keywords associated with each one of these, you can start putting it together to make some sense for yourself. And that's really what it's all about. All right, numerology for today is number 2. Okay, number 2 is, here's how we arrived at the number 2. We've got the 6 plus the 7 plus the 7, the 16, and then 2014 right here. So that is a 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So our number for today is 2. Here we have High Priestess. This is the number 2. And the High Priestess, is, if you recall, is this path right here. Okay, right smack down the middle. It takes us into the inner chamber. So this is there, hidden wisdom that we get when we enter that chamber. In order to enter that chamber, though, we have to pass through the Venus. Right here, we have to pass through imagination. If we want to put it together further and we can look at this, we could say, okay, Venus is in Taurus at the moment. So Venus, right here, this path of imagination lies in Taurus. Taurus is all about practical things, bringing things into the practical world, beauty, wealth. So when we use our imagination with those ideas of where it is right now, it opens up the doorway to that middle path. And there we come across here the sun, and the sun is in Gemini. So if we look at how this symbol here is in areas of communication now, it helps us to understand the right useness of this energy. It allows us access into the heart chamber. Okay, so there's very interesting ways you can use this. You can learn a lot from it just by going through. This symbol here is an awesome symbol. Just use this symbol and you will find that your knowledge of this particular science will really increase, because everything is contained within here. Everything. Numerology, sounds, colors, I Ching, astrology, it's all here. Hebrew letters. Okay? So make that your friend and you'll really find it to be something that will be well worthwhile for you. And then, of course, this is another good place here. I'm going to leave this up as a reference point that you could see there's star, Zadi meaning fish hook, High Priestess, Gimel means camel. Camel would be like someone who delivers something from one place to another. The idea of travel, going someplace. Alright, the moon phase for today is 83% full, so we're now making our way down to a new moon. We know that because it says waning. Waning means going down. This week here, let's see, June 13th to 21st. So today we're at the 16th. After dark, look below Mars and Spica in the southwest for the 4-star pattern of Corvus, the crow. It's a springtime constellation descending now. The spring is nearing its end. Okay. No maps or anything, just need to look for Mars. We'll know Mars because, well, Mars has that reddish color to it. The Mayan Oracle, we're at a 8-tone day. 8-tone is the galactic tone of integrity. So today would be the integrity of the moon, or the integrity of purification, guided by exploration. We're at the waves on the wave spell of the wind, so we're at this section here, the purification of our inspiration. I harmonize in order to purify modeling flow. I seal the process of universal water with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of space. Solar wind 356.0 kilometers per second. Planetary K index 2. Coronal holes. Well, we have a few scattered ones in here. We'll see how that plays out. M-class flare possibilities dropped down slightly from 60 to 55. X-class is dropping as well. It's 25 now, dropping lower in the next 24 to 48 hours. Geomagnetic storm activity is lowering as well. We're severe, only 30% in the high latitudes, and 20 is the max in the mid latitudes. And over at our Jewish calendar, today would be 18 Sivan, and the thought for today on this is: as a young boy, Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak VI Lubavitcher Rebbe would go with his father and walks through the woods. One time as they walked, the boy absentmindedly plucked a leaf off the tree and began to shred it between his fingers. His father saw what his son was doing, but he went on talking. He spoke about the Baal Shem Tov, who taught how every leaf that blows in the wind, moving in the right and to the left, how when it falls and where it falls, every motion for the duration of its existence is under the detailed supervision of the Almighty. That concern the Creator has for each thing, his Father explained, is the divine spark that sustains its existence. Everything is the divine purpose. Everything is of concern to the ultimate goal of the entire cosmos. Now the Father gently chided, "Now look how you mistreated so absent-mindedly the Almighty's creation. He formed it with purpose and gave it a design spark. It has its own self and its own life. Now tell me, how is the I am of the leaf any less than your own I am?" Well, that certainly is a lot to contemplate right there. But, I think it's important. I think we want to honor all of life, and sometimes we don't really think about the little things that we're doing, but everything is life out there, and when we realize it, we treat it differently. We treat it differently. It was like, some of the Native American wisdom that was read on Thursday. I mean, some even the basic stuff there, where it talked about the earth is our mother. We need to treat it with the respect. It's our mother. And then you see people spitting on it. It's like they're spitting on their own mother, throwing garbage on their mother. And the real simple things we take for granted. Sometimes we don't even think about. But, little things make the difference. Little things make the difference. All right, there you go. UFO News is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All righty, Dirk. Thank you very much. Our first story comes to us from up by the sun. There's an object right up there. You can see that? What is that? Well, here it is again with another filter. This came from camera 1B. Massive UFO disc seen near our sun yesterday. It has ringed edges and even some long arms visible coming out of it. To see the arms, you must adjust the light and the contrast. This UFO is not alone. There are others not far away. I know a UFO this big seems impossible to us because our tech is not that advanced. But imagine what our technology will be capable of in 1,000 years, or even more, like aliens in 1 million or more. There are a few limits to technology and what it can accomplish one day. So, very interesting. But definitely, there's one there. There's one there. 1, 2. Is there another one there? Looks like there might be one there. So, plenty out there. And these things are huge. Huge. So, what comes to mind whenever I see these kind of things? I'm reminded of the stories about when these large planetary bodies get close to us, how our Earth is affected by it in negative ways. Well, these bodies that are up there, some of these are pretty darn good sized. Some of them, those coronal holes that open up are, more than one Earth size. So these things up there, in comparison to those, they look like they're also as big as the Earth or sometimes bigger. Yet we're not feeling any particular effect from them. Our planet's not wobbling off course because of that. So I think there's more than meets the eye with the idea of when something gets too close to us, what's going to happen. I think that there's a lot more protections that are out there in the universe than we understand. All right, here's a shot of it was found on Google Earth. Got a ship here. But then on top of that, here's something else. And when you look close, it looks like a little alien dude, right? Or alien dudette. Dude or dudette, I don't know which one. It's one of them, but something's there. All right. So I got this report from a guy in Newfoundland. He found a UFO on Google Earth in the Tout Creek, Montana area. I investigated, took a few screenshots, revealed something that was not first apparent. There's an alien sticking his head out from the UFO. Look carefully at the shadings and the curvature around the head and you will know it's real. I'm just blown away that we have a real proof of alien in this photo. I thought it was just a UFO, but his head sticking out is proof that not all UFOs are ET drones, or some are controlled and flown by actual aliens. It's a very exciting photo, and I hope you will think so. Know that Google deletes all UFOs that I report within 3 to 6 months. I've reported over 50, and I don't believe any of them are still there. So please record this. Keep it. Okay? Yeah, and a little alien dude or dudette popping their head out. Very cool. Very interesting. Okay. Now over Istanbul, Turkey. This is new footage of bright unidentified flying objects hovering in the night sky above Istanbul. This was on Thursday. 3-minute 45-second video. There we go, right there in the distance.
I don't know if anyone can see this, but notice clearly those lights high up in the sky.
Okay.
Too bright.
Yeah, look at that. There's some good lights right there.
Do you see that? Yeah. Do you see that move?
Right there.
In the top. Exactly. This has been going on for the past 15 minutes.
Okay, interesting. 3 minutes 45-second video. Check it out. I'm moving on. Military witness sees transparent UFO with a humanoid creature. Former Coast Guard sailor remembers encounter with humanoid creature. A former U.S. Coast Guard sailor recalls an incident with a transparent, oval-shaped craft that moved within 200 yards of the vessel that revealed a humanoid pilot before quickly disappearing, according to June 13, 2014 testimony from the MUFON database. The incident occurring in late 1978 or early 79 near Cuba on a law enforcement Coast Guard cutter, while the witness was standing near the fantail with another sailor when the object was first seen. I witnessed a transparent oval-shaped craft that was cut across the back of the ship, maybe 100, 200 yards away. I could clearly see a frame inside the craft and the humanoid pilot as he abruptly turned to look at us. But the sighting was quick as it glided off into the backside of the back of the ship. In the blink of an eye, it vanished. Many years I found something on the line that looked exactly like the creature I witnessed. Well, it's very interesting that he claims that he was able to see something there, and that at the same day, we also have the picture that I just showed you of the UFO with the alien in it. So, interesting. Interesting. Things happen in waves, right? I believe that that communication effort is out there despite what humankind, the leadership of humankind, is wanting to keep quiet. ET will not be kept down. Okay, here we have one that was seen on Russian TV. This is part of their report that they had done. Right there is the object in question. And there we go. So you can see that moves pretty quick. Okay. Good shot right there. 2-minute video. Check it out. Alright, here we have a UFO sighting over Lima, Peru, June 13th. So, new amazing footage of a diamond shape recorded in the night sky above Lima. This is a good shot as well. There we go, right there in the middle of the screen. You can see it. 1 minute, 50-second video, and there you go. As it gets closer, we can see a little bit more. Well, that's pretty interesting. Certainly looks like the, almost looks like the eye, doesn't it? Except it's not just a triangle. There it looks like a very definite, almost like an eye. Right eye. Very interesting. Oh no, would that be the left eye? There we go. Very interesting shot. And one more. UFO cover-up, Robert Dean. This is a video for you to watch. Robert Dean, as you may know, is very knowledgeable about the UFO subject. He's been involved for many, many, many years. There's an hour and 22-second video all about his experiences and the UFO cover-up that's taking place. So check that out. I'm going to leave the link available so you can watch that. And that is our UFO news report for today. I'm going to jump away momentarily, and then I'll be back. All right, this is observation.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Underground is where they live. In the bases that are secretive. We're not supposed to know where they come from or where they go. And if you ask our leaders today, this is what they will say. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. I can neither confirm or deny. What's up with their lies?
What's up with their lies? What's up? What's up with my microphone? It wasn't on. All right, we're going to continue on here. This story, I did a story like this not long ago. This is more developments in this particular area. No more fillings as dentists reveal new tooth decay treatment. Scientists in London develop a pain-free technique that allows teeth to repair themselves without drilling or injections. Scientists have developed a new pain-free filling that allows cavities to be repaired without drilling on or injections. This tooth rebuilding technique, developed at King's College London, does away with fillings and instead encourages teeth to repair themselves. Tooth decay is normally removed by drilling, after which the cavity is filled with material such as amalgam or composite resin. The new treatment, called electrically accelerated enhanced remineralization, or EAER, accelerates the natural movement of calcium and phosphorus minerals into the damaged tooth. A two-step process first prepares the damaged area of enamel, then uses a tiny electric current to push minerals into the repair site. It could be available within 3 years. Professor Nigel Pitts from King's College London Dental Institute said, "The way we treat teeth today is not ideal. When we repair a tooth by putting in a filling, the tooth enters a cycle of drilling and refilling as ultimately each repair fails. Not only is the device kinder to the patient and better for their teeth, but it's expected to be at least as cost-effective as current dental treatments. Along with fighting tooth decay, our device can also be used to whiten teeth." The spin-out company Reminova has been set up to commercialize the research. Based in Perth, Scotland, it is in the process of seeking private investment to develop EAER. Well, very good. Very good. That's very interesting. When talked about the mineralization, tooth decay apparently happens because your mouth is going through a process of demineralization, and where the minerals are breaking down. And so the process here is re-establishing or re-stimulating those molecules and those minerals, so instead of breaking down. And if you go online, you can find there's a lot of sites and information about that, foods you could eat that cut out the demineralization process. So very interesting indeed, because we all have teeth and we all need to make sure they're taken care of, right? Okay, here we have a story. It says Tesla goes open source. Tesla goes open source. Elon Musk releases patents to good faith use. Elon Musk has always been a rebel. Now he's an open source rebel. While many in Silicon Valley have rallied against patent wars in recent years, and some have lobbied Washington reform patent law, Tesla has taken an unprecedented step of opening all of its electric car patents to outside use. In a blog on Thursday, Musk said Tesla has removed the patents decorating the wall of a company's Palo Alto headquarters, a symbolic move to coincide with this announcement. Tesla's billionaire co-founder and CEO writes that the company will not initiate patent lawsuits against anyone who in good faith wants to use our technology. This is a reversal in policy for Tesla. We felt compelled to create patents out of concern that the big car companies would copy our technology and then use their massive manufacturing, sales, and marketing power to overwhelm Tesla. We couldn't have been more wrong. The unfortunate reality is that the opposite electric car programs or programs for which a vehicle that doesn't burn hydrocarbons at the major manufacturers are small to non-existent, constituting an average of less than 1% of the total vehicle sales. Musk says that the new open source policy goal is to help stem climate change. He writes it is impossible for Tesla to build electric cars fast enough to address the carbon crisis. Of course, there may be a silver lining for Tesla. Musk says the world would all benefit from a common rapidly evolving technology pattern. This may be true, but could also aid Tesla's rate of adoption. It may encourage other companies to start building charging station and other products that would support Tesla's growth. So, very interesting. It's a technology we certainly could make positive use of. However, why is this technology not out there? Very simple. Because here in the United States of America, we have a primitive way of using energy. It's called fuel, oil, gas. So instead of using technology that draws free energy out of the air, we go and we invade other countries, and then we take their oil and we take their gas from them. And we use this primitive, archaic method. And then, of course, anytime somebody comes up with some alternative method, well, the ones who are dealing and fighting and killing for oil and gas, they just make sure that those who are trying to put those out are silenced as well. So they have a really nice, good, corrupt system going there of making sure that only their oil and gas is being used. People need to stand up against this. You know, there's all sorts of corruptions going on in the world, and part of these corruptions are what's going on with the governments, the worlds. Things are going to change, though, when people realize enough's enough. I mean, here in America, I think many people are finding that point, enough is enough, because it's a continual, daily barrage of lies and corruption. I mean, once you know somebody's lying to you, it's hard to go back from that. And on a daily basis, it's hard to imagine someone turns on any media that is expressing what's going on and listens and actually thinks they're telling you the truth. They're just liars. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's sad that our leadership, our Congress, our judicial system, the executive branch, they've all been corrupted here in this country. And it's sad that that influence has gone around the world. But we don't have to be caught up in that. Remember, things are separating. The worlds are separating. Dimensions are splitting. We have an opportunity where to put our consciousness. So, in that regard, I'm going to play this video here of Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon has a lot of information about the particular subject of this earth. She talks, and we've played the videos of her talking about the new heaven and the new earth, as it speaks of in the Bible, and she talks about the splitting of the worlds, the splitting of the dimensions. And here we have an opportunity to decide if the dimensions are splitting, as she said. You've got one world which is going with the higher consciousness, one world which is separating because people are raising their consciousness to the goodness, the positivity, the love vibration. You have the other part of society who doesn't want to raise up. They want to keep fighting the wars and have the power struggles and all this and that. Well, you've got these two worlds at odds with each other, two different extremes. So as it's pulling apart, as the wheat is separating from the chaff, we have a decision to make. Do we want to be on that world, the new world, the good world, the place where the good vibes and all the stuff is? Or do we want to be in the world where we're stuck with all the wars and all that? It's a real simple decision. You can decide where you want to be and then put your consciousness there. And that's the objective. We want to put our consciousness. If we decide, oh, we want to stay in this world where the war and fighting is, I think we need to ask ourselves why. Why are we addicted to needing to have that? There's no reason. So we turn our attention to the positive because that's where we want to go. That is where we want to go. So in that regard, this is Dolores Cannon. and it's part of a lecture. You can find the full video to this online, but this is part of a lecture in which she's talking about the ascension process. Okay? Dolores is very knowledgeable, so here we go.
Or they go back to the source. And I have whole sections in my book describing what everyone says the source is, God. They all describe it the same way. These are souls that have never been in any kind of a body at all. Can you imagine how traumatic it would be to come pure from the source and to this world
Yes,
now?
I can. Very disturbing. Very
But
challenging.
many people have done that. They go back to the source where they are one with God, where we all began. People are always asking me, they say in their session, I want to know where I'm from. So we're all from the same place. And they want to know, well, what about my home? I said, it's all the same place. They think of a home planet or something like that. That's not what it's about. It's all us. We all came from the source, from God, and that's where we all began. And when they're there, it is so full of love, and it's all this togetherness that they don't want to leave.
Yes.
So in the sessions, I asked them, well, why did you leave? It was so beautiful. I know they left because I'm talking to a body that's laying on the bed. Why did you leave? And they all say the same thing. We heard the call. They heard the call that went out, even to the other planets, to the space people, and to the ones who had never been out in from the source. We heard the call, Earth is in trouble. Will you go and help? And many of them describe meetings on the spirit side even, where they're saying, who wants to go and help? And I had one woman said, and I raised my hand. And she said, what was I thinking of?
No, there you go. So here she is, and here many of them are. And this story, so there are these consistencies you're hearing.
Oh,
from
I
these
do
waves.
thousands and thousands of people.
Yes.
When you get the same story for so many people, I put this all together like a puzzle.
Yes.
Bits and pieces. So the first wave are the ones that had the most trouble. I guess you would say they were in their later 50s, some were in their 40s, but some people say they think the early 60s would fall into the same pattern. It probably will, because that's about how long ago that we dropped the bomb. But these are the ones who don't want to be here. They're very unhappy. They have good families, they have jobs, but they don't want to be here. They don't like it. They want to go home. They don't know where home is, but they know it's not here. They don't like the violence, they don't understand it, and many of these first wavers have tried to commit suicide at different points in their life to get out of here.
I have a question at this point. If they came in and they went through the traditional thing that happens when you incarnate here, which is essentially a case of amnesia, and they don't understand consciously what they're doing here, what are they functionally doing while they're here to help shift those frequencies or further this evolutionary process?
The first wave are just living like everybody else. It's the second wave that are doing different things. But the first wave are the ones who don't want to be here, and they wanted to commit suicide, and they've had a very hard time. But the second wave, I found, would be in their 20s, 30s, maybe some over into the 40s. And when I'm doing them, they said they are called antennas, generators. They're here just to generate positive energy to affect everyone else.
Yes, that makes sense. My son is in that age group, and he and his friends are just beautiful beings who really do work toward generating communal friendships, supporting each other, non-judgment. It's beautiful.
Well, they said those kind of people can walk through a crowded mall or a store, and their energy will affect anyone that is there.
Yes.
Not consciously, they don't realize what they're doing, but their energy is supposed to be generated to affect other people. And I've had people come and say, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing here? And the second wave, they'll usually say, you're just to be. And they don't like that when they wake up. They say, but I wanted to be doing something. All you're supposed to do is just be and allow the energy to affect other people.
Yes.
But the irony of it is that a lot of the second wavers don't like people. and they don't want to be around them. Their energy bothers them, but they're supposed to be affecting people, so they stay home. So they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. A lot of the second wavers, some of the first and the second do get married, but a lot of them don't want to because it's just
it's
just
sticky,
against
it's dense, yes.
And the second wave especially, they don't want to have children because they said having children creates karma. And they don't want to make any more karma. They want to do what they're supposed to do and get out of here. They don't want to be stuck here because if they create karma, they're going to have to stay. So many of them don't want children, and they work from their home. The second wavers do, so they keep away from people. But they're very gentle, loving people. And I asked them one time, well, why did the first wave have such a hard time? And they said, somebody has to be the beginning. Somebody has to be the one that creates the path, the way shower. And they started, and then the others, the second wave, followed, so they had an easier time.
Yes. And that makes sense.
That's the
and
difference.
now their children are these little, amazing little 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, not theirs. It's just the third wave.
The third wave,
Yeah.
yes. The third wave of
Because
beings.
some of them don't
could
want
be,
children.
Right. Some of them could be, they're born to whomever, but that next one is really interesting.
The third wave are the children. And some of them now are in their teens. But these are the hope of the world. They're the gift of the world. They're here to really make a difference. And, of course, the last thing these children should be done is put on medicine and medication.
Gosh. Oh.
That's the last
Let's not
thing,
even
because
go there.
they are functioning at a different level. They have come in with all of their genetics, everything is in place, because they are a totally new species. And I've spoken at conferences about the new children where they're trying to educate the educators. And they have panels of these kids. And, you know, they're always saying, well, they're disruptive in the classrooms. That's why they have to put them on the medication. And they've said at the conferences, the reason is they're disruptive is because they're bored.
Yes.
They said they say the teacher would ask them for an answer to a problem, a math problem or something. They tell them the answer. The teacher wants to know, how did you find the answer? And they said, I just know it. And to them, that's not enough. They want them to explain how they came by it. So that's very aggravating to one of these children. And another thing, they said they go over and over and over again the same material when I got it the first time. So they're bored. So what I was told to tell people, the teachers and the parents, is to give these kids challenges. But the other kids are doing the other stuff. Take these kids aside, maybe give them a special project, a paper to write, or something different that will challenge their minds. And they said, even if you just give them something, the younger ones, something to tear apart and put back together again.
Yes.
It's giving them a challenge.
So they can use their creativity and their knowledge. Yes.
Otherwise, they're sitting around, well, I don't, you know, I'm bored, I don't want to do this again. Give them something different. And that's how they should be treated. And they have a different way of thinking because they do grasp everything so quickly.
So what are they being, they've incarnated specifically for helping guide humanity, not just technologically, but in terms of science, in every which way, because of their ability to retain
like
knowledge?
I said, they're the gift of the world.
Yeah.
Nova had a special, it's been a few years ago now, where some of these kids were 10 years old and have already graduated from college.
Yes.
And some of these have already formed their own organizations. And it's interesting that a lot of the organizations they have founded have to do with helping the children of the world.
Yes. Yes, I'm
So
aware of that.
this is where they're going.
So they're going to be much more giving the gift of not just creating conscious community again on the planet, using
Getting it back to what it's supposed to be.
Getting it back to what it's supposed to be.
Because the rest of them were caught into the wheel of karma. They don't
Yeah.
know how to solve their own problems, let alone the world's problems. These people don't have those basic karmic problems, so they can just go in a different way. They're putting the world into this new world, the new earth, because we're headed toward a wonderful time.
Yes, that's the good news.
Technology will be used in a wonderful way. So many wonderful things are happening. So these new children have a part in it. And the first and second waves have a part, but they've had difficulty.
And so from this point forward, it should become much more harmonious for the beings that are choosing to incarnate during this period. Because, as you write about, this period is going to lead us to essentially parallel Earths in a sense.
Yes.
And this has been, I've heard about this, and even from my guides was told about this 25 years ago, and they're just very slow.
All right. So there you go. I think another time I'll play a little bit more of her, because her information is very pertinent. This is what she's telling people as she's, doing her lectures and talks. It's a very important subject, and again, I think it's something that we need to focus on a daily basis. Where do we want our consciousness to be? If this is true, if this is really happening, then we need to choose where we want to go. Because the other side of the coin is, this is really happening. We decide and think, it isn't, and we don't do anything. And then the moment arrives where we are being asked or, ready to move forward and we haven't done the work. Won't we feel silly then? So it seems like now is the time to do the work. To do the work that's required. And the only work is required is decide where you want to be. Where do we want to put our consciousness? Do we want to keep it in that old pattern of war? Or do we want to put it in the new pattern of peace? I think you know the answer. I know the answer. We just need to stay focused on it and keep focused and keep reminding each other, because there's a lot of energies and forces that are out there that are continually playing against people. I'm constantly reminded by things that I read and hear that we are having a battle between the light and the dark, except the light is returning. As the light is returned and getting brighter, the darkness is dissipating. It knows it's on its way out, so it's making a last-ditch effort to drag as many down with it into the darkness as possible. And so this is why there's that separation of what's going on. All right, very good. Moving on from here, here's an article at In5D. This one is from Greg Prescott. And this has to do with synchronicity and numbers. Paying attention to repetitive synchronistic numbers. Do you see 1111 often? How about the numbers such as 2009, 1235, or 333? Why do repetitive synchronistic numbers come into our lives, and what do they mean? Many people within this genre believe that there is no such thing as coincidence, and that everything happens for a reason, including repetitive synchronous numbers such as 1111 or 555. A general consensus of the meaning of any given particular number is that you are supposed to be paying attention to whatever it is on your mind at the particular time of numerological synchronicity. But what about the numbers that appear to you that seem to have no meaning, such as 1123 or 112 or 1235? If you see any of these three numbers listed above, then these are all related to the Fibonacci sequence. For example, 1235 is a Fibonacci sequence. 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5. But if you do the numerology of it, it also equals 11. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5, 11. The Fibonacci sequence can be seen in everything from the arrangement of a pine cone to the great works of art such as the Mona Lisa. When you see the synchronistic Fibonacci number, it may represent compounded spiritual growth in the same linear fashion as the sequence. 1123 breaks down to 7, which is 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. Perhaps 7 is your life path number or the life path number of someone who is close to you. Additional Fibonacci numbers include 144, 233, 377, 610, 987, 1597, 2584, 4181, 6765, and so on. You might glance at the clock and see 233 or 144. Perhaps you recently bought an item for $15.97 or put $9.87 of gas into your car. These are all numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, and chances are you're going through an amazing period of spiral growth and enlightenment. If you break 1597 down to numerology, you get 22, which breaks down to 4. It can also be seen as 22 equals 11 plus 11. Sometimes you might get to see numbers in an unexpected way. For example, you may find a penny on the ground. Look at the date and try to understand the significance of not only the date, but the numerology of that date. Perhaps you found a penny that says 2009 on it, but you don't remember anything significant from 2009. The numerology of 2009 equals 11. Do the same thing for any coin you unexpectedly find. Perhaps it's a coin from 86 or 2002. Think of the significance of the particular year and do the numerology until you can break the number into a single digit or the recognition of a master number such as 11, 22, or 33. If you are filling your gas tank, notice the number of the pump you're filling from, the amount of gas you get, the cost of it. You can do the same thing at the grocery store by looking at the total amount you spend. If you are at an intersection, look at the numbers in the license plate in the car in front of you. Do the numerology on your house or apartment number. One should always pay attention to any synchronistic number that constantly arises in your life. Try to look at it for the significance and why it is occurring for you. Now we've got some good articles here all about 1111 and information on Greg. Okay? So, another good article from In5D. Very important. So, we see numbers all the time. I would say to you that if you did an experiment, as you go through the course of the day, just pay attention to all of the numbers that appear in your life. And look at them from a new perspective. Look at them from the standpoint of they are all communicating something to you. It's like when we're in a dream world and we see things in the dream and then we wake up and we go to find dream dictionaries to see what the meanings were. Things have meanings. Well, we're living in a dream reality here, even though we feel that we're alive. It's still a dream reality and to some extent. And so if we understand that and understand that the things we're seeing all have some purpose and guiding us along, we might look at them differently. So let's do that as we go out. Look today at the numbers that show up in your life and just play a game with it. What else we got to do? This is our life. We might as well play a game and have fun with what life is bringing us. And when we do, we start to see some really interesting things. So look at the numbers, follow them, watch what happens, and maybe you'll even be surprised by the results that you find. All right, let's get to our Galactic Federation message today, or the message for today, which is from Jesus. And again, these messages, they're all, when you go to them, they're all labeled Galactic Federation of Light. I have no issue with the Galactic Federation of Light. I know there are those who are concerned, but the reason that I don't have an issue is because as I've listened to the messages, the quality of information that comes through is information that is teaching how ones to evolve. And they're not speaking out of any way different than what esoteric science has taught us, what the different books from the Apocrypha or the biblical books or other spiritual texts. Same things, just reiterating the same things about how we grow. We go from inside. We're going through a change. And that's what I listen to. I don't want to get caught up in all of the nonsense because there are good guys, there are bad guys. That information is all originating from government, earthly sources. And anything that comes from a government source, I don't trust it. I mean, really, in this day and age in America, when you flip on the channels or you read the news and you hear the amount of mistruths that are coming out of this particular administration right now, it's hard to believe anything they say. The previous administration was the same way, and the one before it. And at a certain point in time, we could either say, well, they've lied to us every other day. Today is going to be different. Today they're going to tell us the truth. Or we could realize they're not going to tell us the truth. That's all they do is they lie, so we're not going to even listen to them. So when government sources leak out information that the Galactic Federation is bad, I don't really care what those government sources say, because those same government sources are doing all kind of other corrupt things around this particular country that are betraying the people. So if they're betraying the people in these ways, why would they want us to know that there is space brothers and sisters out there ready to help us out of the situation that those here on Earth have put us in by lying? So that's my thoughts on it. I think we just need to listen and not get caught up in the trap of believing that just because they're from an extraterrestrial source that they're bad. Because there's a lot of good out there. A whole lot of good out there. Anyway, here we go. This is the message for today.
You are divine beings on Earth to assist humanity to awaken.
June 13, 2014, by John Smallman.
Humanity is on the edge. Awakening is imminent. Yes, you have been told this many times already, and as time is of the illusion, it is absolutely true. Nevertheless, to humanity it seems that the flow of time is unavoidable, slow, or fast depending on how you are personally experiencing it, but it does seem that you are enclosed in it, enveloped within it inescapably, and when you are waiting for something for which you long, the waiting can seem interminable. So we have been telling you that your awakening is imminent, first because it is, as time is illusory, and second because it is you who have to awaken, and you will do it in an instant once you are ready. You have spent eons moving towards this moment of readiness, and so we have to keep stressing its imminence to keep you on your toes, to keep you holding the intent to do so. To awaken, is, as we have told you, a collective decision, and that decision has been made, it just needs to be put into effect. By daily entering your quiet inner space and reaffirming that intent, you intensify it. By being loving in every situation and thus holding your light on high for all to see and experience, you further intensify it. That is your task, that is why you chose to incarnate at this moment in humanity's evolution. The problem for all of you, is that the illusion that you built and maintain by your belief in it seems extraordinarily real, and so you keep on falling back into unloving experiences, when you react egoically to some situation or issue instead of allowing love to guide and direct you. If no one took offense or reacted violently or angrily, there would be no conflicts. But eons in the dangerous illusory environment that you built has trained you either to be defensive or to preemptively attack for your own safety and that of your loved ones, tribe, or nation. Your history shows you quite clearly that that does not work, the world is not at peace, and yet humanity persists in attempting to bring peace and order to the world by violent and forceful means, thus adding to the endemic suffering worldwide. You have an aphorism: when you are in a hole, don't keep digging. And most of you are very good at noticing when others are doing just that, but almost totally incapable of recognizing when you are doing it yourselves. Reacting violently or angrily in threatening situations is to keep digging, so don't. Choose instead to remain calm and focused. Choose not be offended. Mostly when you choose to be offended, it is always a choice that you make. It is due to misunderstanding the intention or meaning of the one who has seemingly offended you. Also, because so many have been so badly hurt at various times in various lifetimes, they live expecting attack, and so are spring-loaded, already tightly wound up and ready to react violently, instantly. So we keep reminding you that love is the way forward, that love is the solution to all issues and problems, and, we are glad to tell you, more and more of you are hearing us and are learning to put love effectively into action. For most of you in your daily lives, violent physical attack is not generally an issue, but verbal abuse or offense often occurs. Do not react. It is really that simple. Many during their youth were encouraged or even made to feel unworthy, and so, expecting to be judged at almost any moment, are ready to react in apparent self-defense. But you are all utterly and totally worthy. Any negative judgment or offensive remark you experience directed at you is unfounded. It is possible that you have made a mistake and are being called on it, so, if that is the case, accept that you have made a mistake, discuss it and remedy it. You yourself, regardless of anything you have ever done, will always remain an infinitely worthy and beloved child of God. There is never any need to take offense, even if the one addressing you would like to see you offended. The need to see you offended is his own sense of inadequacy needing shoring up. By calmly dealing with the issue to resolve it, instead of angrily reacting to an unfair and possibly wounding judgment or comment, you allow the other with whom you are dealing to lower his defenses so that the issue can be dealt with creatively and thus resolved. Often it is very tempting to react, to engage in a shouting match, and if you win it builds up your ego as you delight in the other's unhappiness and confusion. But that is not a loving way to behave, and if it is your intent to be loving, to engage with the task that you set yourselves before you incarnated, then later on you will feel remorse that you reacted in that fashion, and then you may well engage in angry self-judgment, adding further to your unjustified but deeply felt sense of inadequacy or worthlessness. So the message today is: love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself. Remember, God does, constantly. When you really make the conscious effort to treat yourself well, and then do so, you will feel much better. When you are feeling good, it is far easier to deal lovingly with the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as William Shakespeare put it. You are divine beings on earth to assist humanity to awaken, and that awakening is imminent, so it is essential that you focus on the task you came to do. Daily go within at least once, and preferably several times, to your quiet inner space. You all have it. And while there, remind yourselves of your eternal divine nature. Do not put yourselves down in any way, but focus on the fact that you are infinitely and eternally loved. Then intend to be loving at all times, and intend not to react to seeming attacks. Remind yourselves that attacks are just desperate calls for love, and that you will and intend to respond with compassion and understanding when experiencing one. You know it works, because you have all done just that at times and seen, often with amazement, the miraculous effects that your loving response evokes. You are love, because you were created from love, and that can never change, so shake off the fearful thoughts and beliefs with which the illusion attempts to enshroud you, and show yourself as you truly are, a divine being of love here to assist all in their awakening process. After all, it is in your own interest to do so. Your loving brother, Jesus.
Alright. So, anything in that message that leave you feeling that, you need to be aware? I didn't hear anything. All I heard is change needs to happen on the inside. We need to let go of the judgments, we need to let go of the anger. We need to hang on to love. Nothing wrong with that message. Let's get to our meditation for today. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. Imagine yourself walking through life, walking along the path of life. And as you walk along, you're looking to the left and to the right of the road that you're on, and you see people digging holes in the ground. And as they dig the holes, they get buried deeper and deeper, and you hear people hollering that they can't get out of their own hole. So you holler back, "Stop digging! Stop digging! You're only hurting yourself." And people stop digging. And as they stop digging the hole, they find out that they're not sinking any further. And then they find a way to climb out of that hole. And eventually, once they all climb out of the hole that they were in, they realize that there was no one else digging the hole except for them. And so they walk along, and everyone's realizing and contemplating that we make our own problems by the way in which we respond to the way life communicates with us. When we choose to get angry, we bring anger. When we choose to be loving, we bring love. And each and every moment we know that we have a choice of how we are going to put our energy into the world. And so just imagine yourself walking through the world, looking and listening for the ways in which life communicates with you. And the more you listen and pay attention, the more you realize that life is for you every moment. Life is never against you. Life is always for. And as we move through life knowing that life is for us, doors open. Magic seems to happen. Events which we realize are not any special magical events, but just the normal workings of universal law. So we think positive thoughts. We think loving thoughts. And we keep moving forward, looking for solutions to any problems that arise in our way. And as we keep our mind open and our hearts open, we find that there isn't a challenge that we cannot overcome. Let's affirm, listen to this affirmation, and let's allow these words to sink in. Creative energy surges through me and leads me to new and brilliant ideas. So imagine that creative energy surging through you. Imagine all of the ideas that you have, the strength within you, the love you have, the creativity to express. And just allow that energy to surge out of you to find its way of expression. So as you go forth today, just be an observer. Observe yourself, observe the world around you. Observe the numbers and the communications. Just observe and see how you fit into the world. So let your subconscious mind continue on that journey of observation, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Till then, have an awesome day. Love ya. Talk to you soon.